I've been living off grid for almost 6 years, and two of the biggest concerns I've heard people bring up are income and basically burning out or failing or giving up. These are things people think about before they actually move off grid. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about building a sustainable life without burning out or going broke. So I've been using social media to build my brand and website for almost 6 years now. I started this channel just before I moved off grid. At the time, I didn't have a lot of experience with social media, and I actually was really just documenting my process for the most part. I knew that it would help with the brand, but I wasn't expecting to grow. And then my channel started to grow quite a bit. But something that took me all this time before I really fully understood was that although I was really quite authentic, I didn't have a full grasp or understanding, and so I was often chasing what I thought would be a well-performing video, and in doing that, it's a little less authentic because you're chasing the trend actually, or doing what you know will perform well leads to being a little bit performative. And having your own business is a great source of income for anybody who's homesteading, living rurally. Advertising your business, it's just such a great way these days to be on social media. But if that's the case, here's the thing: you can make a ton of money right out the gate if you do chase trends. If you heavily chase trends, you see viral things that are trending and you recreate or follow along or add your perspective. It's a great way to reach an enormous amount of people. But that kind of, that requires performative. You got to be performative for that. That'll burn you out. And while it can return a lot of profit immediately, it comes and goes in spikes. And so if you want to continue to make that kind of money, then you're going to have to continue to perform like that. That's why a lot of YouTubers burn out. And I didn't realize that I was actually doing that in two different ways. Is I was being a little performative, chasing trends, and that makes you tired, even though I wasn't even aware I was doing it. I wasn't pushing it super far, but I was chasing trends. And so subconsciously that was burning me out. The other thing I did wrong was, I've always had a really good work ethic. That's probably one of my best skills or assets, is just being able to work really hard. And while that's great, you got to moderate it, because I burned out in that way as well after I worked so hard every single day for 6 years, almost 6 years. And just one day it hit me like a ton of bricks and I was wiped out, and I seriously didn't work. I didn't do labor for like 2 months. I needed to recover. And so what you can do is, building systems around the homestead, shelter, you're providing shelter, water, food, power, and income. That provides a lot of stability for you. And in doing that, it relieves a lot of pressure. And I noticed something when I was younger. I'd look around and say, you look at millionaires and you're like, that guy seems lazy almost. Or you're just surprised that he's not working harder than you. Well, that's actually part of the trick to becoming a millionaire, is it's good to use hard work to invest and build something up till you have a foundation. But to get from making 100 grand to the 200 grand or whatever, you got to switch to a point where you're You need leverage and you need compounding. And that's why it looks like they're not working as hard, because they're not doing the same physical labor, but they know what they're doing. And that is creating sources of income that compound over time. It's slow. Remember, we talked about spiking income and reach. Well, there's the opposite of that, which is stability. And that's how I like income and my homestead to be built. And so it's slow income. It takes time to come in, but then it's it's not as interruptible. It's slow and steady. And you do that by compounding. So you make moves and you create sources of income that can compound. And a good example would be like, write an ebook one time. And now this is not perfect residual income. I noticed there was something on the screen, so I wiped it off, but this is not flawless residual income. There's a little bit of maintenance involved. You know, when somebody buys the ebook, then you have to send it out. But you don't have to recreate it every time, you know, so it's largely what would be, you know, residual income. And so the point is you put that effort into it, a lot of work the first time, and then you don't have to do as much work. And over time, as long as you maintain and let people know about it and you're still offering value, people will find it over time, and you don't have to rewrite that book. And you can create physical products like I did, and that helped a lot for a long time. And in fact, they're nice. It still is some income, but there's a lot more overhead in building a physical product that you have to create packaging. You got to print stickers. You got to order the package. You need to order the tape. You need boxes. You need packing material. You need the product itself and the time that it takes to put all that together and driving it to ship it. And there's a lot involved there, a lot of overhead, one might say. And so those were a wonderful stepping stone for me, an example, and they're still available in the background, but I'm transitioning over. You know, I've been creating, you know, ebooks and webinars and lectures, and I've even got a land locator tool. So I've done these things over time. They're e-products, basically, that I put a lot of work and effort into up front, and then less as I go. Well, that's a good way to build stability, because they're slow to get going, but then they maintain over time rather than spiking. And it allows me to make videos like this, where this video is not targeted to trend and go viral. And that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter very much how many views this video gets. It's still a quality video. I'm just not looking for it to go viral, because what matters is the small amount of people that do watch it. It allows you to be really exactly who you are. You're not going to burn out. And you can apply that to both your income and to your homestead. In fact, it doesn't have to do with off-grid living or homesteading or a rural business at all. My systems-based view of building a homestead or a sustainable life and business can apply to just about anything. And you can build a frugal off-grid homestead just like mine. Almost everything I know is freely available on my website. And for those that want an end-to-end overview of exactly how I think about it, that's what the path is for. And to be clear, you don't have to be a content creator or run an online business to apply these same ideas. I just think that in this day and age, for being rural, working remote, it's pretty convenient, and you can really be who you want to be. You can create a product, a company that you really like, that you align with, and then you can just share with people exactly who you really honestly are. And that's not going to spike like we talked about. It's slow and steady though. But and that's not the only way to do it. You can also, if you really are a hypey personality, and you feel like you got so much high energy you're never going to burn out, well, you can go the other way too. But you'll have to continue to do it if you want to keep steady income.